Have your own emergency fund, because it sounds like you pay for people's emergencies all the time. You have your own? Okay. Start respecting your money. Because if you had your own, the one thing you would remember is your friends, your family's emergencies are not yours. So you literally don't, if they come to you...
let's query that statement.
I used to be like that. I lost a lot of money to someone else's emergency. And I beat myself down for it, Murugi. For the longest time, I beat myself down until I forgave myself and I was like, let it go. And that's the other thing that will also help you with your guilt. When you give money to friends and family, consider it gone.
Hi guys, Murugi Muni here.
It's Lydia KM.
And we're back again with another episode of
The Messy In Between.
It's definitely TMI. Do you see how she said it? Yeah.
But guess what? But no, I copied her because I knew. I knew for sure it would be. You would say, and then she'd be like...
Okay, so in our last episode,
I copied.
The history is we used to be like, it's definitely TMI. Yeah. Then Lydia started singing at some point. I guess she just got joy in her heart, yeah? So she started doing like, it's definitely TMI. But our audience have told us time and again they don't like it.
They don't like it.
So we are trying to go back to the other one. But we were being rebellious. But now we are trying to go back. But the way you've said it was perfect.
Okay, because I thought I sang a little bit.
Yeah, but it's like in a more controlled, mature way.
Okay. Maybe it's the
guy.
voice.
Murugi is the person when friends come over, they start dissing you.
But it's true.
It's me who started singing, surely.
Wasn't it you?
It's me.
Was it not?
First of all,
Good night.
Forget competition.
Thank you.
And animosity.
Let's be together as women.
International Women's Day. By the time we're seeing this 7th.
This is the 6th.
6th.
Yeah.
2 more days, but this is our International Women's Day event. And when we were discussing who we wanted to have on, there's only one person.
Literally.
One person we thought of as the person who feels like she represents, number one, women who are economically empowered, which is a big way how we can, push our agenda forward. She's also a woman who is for women and is someone
absolutely.
who we both deeply, deeply admire.
Yes.
Before we get into it, please welcome Just Ivy. Just Ivy Africa.
Just Ivy Africa.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Or just
wow.
money, as Lydia has.
Just money.
It's so hilarious.
And it makes so much sense.
It does.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
Just money.
What would you say is your equivalent of just money? If someone thinks of her and thinks just money, what would they think of you and think?
I don't know.
Just
Somebody.
Just wellness.
I
Yeah.
know it's because her just is there.
Yeah.
So it works.
And me?
Someone else needs to make up.
Me?
Just booty.
That's extremely. And you see, this is why. Let me tell you guys. For Women's Day, I wish you good friends. That's all I'm saying.
Welcome, Ivy.
Welcome, Han.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, if the person who is watching for some reason lives under a rock and they don't know anything about you, please introduce yourself.
All right. My name is Ivy. My moniker on social media is just Ivy Africa. I am a financial literacy enthusiast. I am a mother to two twin girls. I'm a fun lover. I work hard. I play hard as well. I'm a fan of TMI. Okay. And,
Thank you, honey.
And I love being a woman, because now if we're talking about this on session, I love being a woman. And then sometimes I create some content that I'm paid for here and there. Yeah.
I love that. Here and there. Once in a while.
What do you love most about being a woman?
Oh, that's a good question. What do I love most about being a woman? I think I connected most to being a woman when I got pregnant, and this is not to invalidate people who don't want children or anything like that, but I don't know, I felt closer to God, because I was just like, what the hell,
how is this happening?
And then there's 2 of you. So I felt that way, so that for me is it for me.
Yeah. Okay.
I love that. What do I love most about being a woman? I was going to say my body. I definitely feel like I love my body. Sometimes I look at my man and I'm just like, okay, it must be okay to be you. But like, look at me. I have like breasts and nipples at the end of my breast and like my vagina, the way our bodies are shaped. It's just like, when I look at myself, I'm just like, this was very intentional, how my body is shaped. I love women's bodies.
Yeah.
I would say
my body as well. Just like there's there's a way I feel in my body that I feel like, do men feel this way? I don't think so. I don't know. It's just like all the ways, all the things that are about your body that makes you a woman.
Yeah.
But I guess another thing I could say is our ability to create community, because I feel like who would I be without my community? And the fact that society gives us permission to feel I'm a feeler. So I feel like that's my favorite thing about being a woman.
I love that. I love that for you. What is our theme for International Women's Day this year?
Invest in women, accelerate progress. And as we always say here, our entire vibe with TMI is to move the needle forward in whatever way that we possibly can. So this could be socially, this could be politically, this could be just even in your immediate surroundings. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. But today we wanted to focus on economic.
Yeah.
That's why we have Just Money here, and we're going to be talking about how we know we're disrespecting money. So I'm disrespectful to money when ...
Yeah, I know May don't start.
No, I was going to ask Ivy. Do you want to start?
Do I want to start? Maybe I can start with a very simple one that people don't think about. I always like to have a refreshing take on things. I don't know how many of us handle cash anymore, really, but if you know people who handle cash, you don't have cash today. You're complaining about parking. How do you pay for? Oh, still M-Pesa.
M-Pesa, everything M-Pesa.
Okay, we'll talk about that another time. This is interesting to me, but people who stash their cash very badly, like you're not putting it neatly in a wallet. It's not in a money holder. You get some cash, you throw it in the handbag, it's crumpled. That physical tool that is money should be treated with respect from the moment it gets in your hands. So you're very disrespectful to your money.
She started tagging you from the onset. Huh?
You're very disrespectful to your money if you just handle it poorly. Like if you have kids and they have a piggy bank, but you're stashing the notes in there badly. These are things we don't think about, but it's you doing that is you're talking to yourself in a way that you don't care.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. Even storing receipts that way. Just crumple them up, store them in a funny way. Why are you treating money like that?
I'm shaking the table so
Why? I know. So let me tell you something, Ivy. We've talked on the podcast about our money personalities, Lydia and I, and we have very different money personalities. Let me start with Lydia's because, because I really would love to just expose her as a person, yeah? So Lydia's money personality is she's indifferent. She's just indifferent to money because you just grew up with like knowing that your needs are taken care of? So it's just kind of like an assumption that, her needs are taken care of. So it's like she's almost like just like she just knows money is around and we have money, and when I need to do something the money is available, and so it's just like money is neither here nor there. It's like this carpet. It's just money is just there, right? Is that accurate?
It is, but I evolved from a guilt with money. It started there, then I did therapy, and then it evolved. So we are in difference, which as you can see I'm pushing through into financial literacy. But it's not.
Lydia, what do you mean guilt with money? You felt guilty
for having money.
For the privilege.
Yes. So it's like it felt gluttonous, and then also watching people suffer, and you're just like, wait, how much you just pay for this small thing, and this person, it could have probably changed their life. And I felt like it was such an imbalance in the world. Like God's given all these people this, and then other people are suffering. And I think it was from coming back on holiday and then seeing like that massive wealth in the gap. Yeah, it brought so much. It took therapy to get past that. Now, owning and possessing money is still something which I'm working through. Yeah, so that's where it evolved from.
So where you are now is like now the complete opposite.
No, I don't think so, because it's like I stopped feeling bad. So we are now at neutral, which is like 0. Now we're going to respecting and yes,
money.
so that's where we are. Yeah, it's been a journey.
Sometimes actually when I watch how Lydia interacts with money, it's like the fact that it's like money is such a non-issue to you that it's almost like it's like, I don't know, I actually find it a slightly admirable because I feel like sometimes it's just like, okay, we'll spend money on something, or like let's say we're doing something like a project, then I'll be like, oh, we should have like a budget, or how much is this? And it's like to Lydia, it's like you've not even thought to ask how much is this, because it's just like, yeah, we need it, so we're gonna get it, but there's no like, okay, how much is it? There's no direction. It's just like, oh, there's money and we know we can afford it, let's get it kind of thing, And so that's interesting, but I don't think it's like the worst personality to have, I wouldn't say, right?
But I feel like because now I know money goes where it's respected, not necessarily worshipped or hated, but now that respecting is like, that's how you accumulate. Well, I'm not going to be able to have a relationship with something I don't understand or I don't care for. So yeah, it's work for everyone. Whichever personality it is, I feel like there's work to do.
Right.
Report on yourself.
Let me now report on myself. So mine is like, would I say it's the opposite? Mine is more money worship or money obsessed. I love having money, and I tie a lot of like everything, like my comfort, my ability to be a good mom, my ability to be a good employer, my ability to be a good sister and whatever, to having money, because I feel like it in my mind it gives me an edge. Also, I love the fact that it allows me to show up in people's lives the way that I'm able to show up, and I'm not exactly. It allows me actually to some extent to not be so. Should I say emotionally involved in some things, because I can be financially involved in them. And through finances, I'm able to show you that I care. If I didn't have money, now I would have to talk to you and tell you that I care. Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
You've known this about me, baby.
I didn't know that was like in lieu of
but it's
emotional connection.
Well, yeah, it is. It's like some part of it is just kind of like I'm able to show up for my family members financially. So for me, it's not. I wouldn't feel as bad if like I'm not able to like be their shoulder to cry on or whatever. I'll give you some money to cry with, but I don't know if I'll be your shoulder to cry on kind of thing. But as far as like my relationship with money, I really just love money. I love money a lot, and it's like it borders on worship in that before I go to sleep, I have to check that I have money in my account. I'm constantly opening. I'm constantly just like, yeah, okay, fine. I have this. Like I'm telling you guys, if my account is just below a certain amount, I'm just like, no. This is not right. Kind of thing. So, mine is maybe this other extreme, and I don't know whether that's from my. I wouldn't say I have money trauma growing up, but what I will say is that I grew up seeing my parents have money, but I didn't grow up seeing them spend their money in useful ways. So, for example, my parents were always really good earners. My dad has been a doctor, gynecologist for the longest time. My mom worked for NGOs, USAID or whatever. Yet, we never bought a home. We never built a home. I never once had them talk about savings. I never once had them talk about investing. But I just knew that our life was good. And so in my mind, kind of, I struggle sometimes to be like, okay, I have a lot of money, but you're telling me I shouldn't spend it and live well. You're telling me now I should save and invest. I just didn't grow up in that kind of environment. And my husband, contrary, now, Kikuyu is how everything is land. You get more money, you're buying land here, land. So he's the opposite. It's just like, don't spend too much. We need to keep it here. Whereas I'm just like, but if I have a lot of money, why am I not spending? Why am I not living well? Yeah. Again, being discussed in therapy.
What's yours?
Yeah.
I moved from anxious because I grew up watching. I think my dad was a breadwinner, really, mostly. My mom was also earning well, but my dad was the majority shareholder, for lack of better words. And then I saw him lose everything.
Oh, yeah.
So I watched us go from, we were doing very, very well for ourselves to struggling, and then now my mom stepped in a lot before now my dad could recover. Yeah. So I was anxious about money, and I learned it from there. So I used to hoard money a lot. And so the way Murugi checks her savings, that was me. So is that 2 million still there? Fine. Yeah. Is it still there? But see, the mistake I was making was keeping that 2 million there, but it's not growing. It's not doing anything for me. So it was just to make me feel more comfortable. So now I've moved to more confidence, but I'm still, in a sense, I'm still a worshiper.
Yeah.
Even hearing you say that you exchange money for human connection, I'm just like, oh, sometimes I do that, but I know it's not right, because sometimes people would want you there to just talk to them rather than whatever. So, because the negative thing for me was I used to throw money at problems. I think, what the hell, see here, I just have some money. Yeah. But I love the fact that money affords me freedom.
Yeah. That's it. Yes.
For me, it's just that freedom, that I have the time, that I have the whatever it is that I want. But I love money as well. Yeah.
Okay, you see, guys, we're very different money personalities. There are people who are a lot more frugal. There are people who are even like fearful of even spend, as in some
even talking about.
And what's his name? The guy who does "I'll Teach You to Be Rich" on Netflix. Yes. So he's like, money isn't just money. It's like an expression of what's happening with your life. So it's like where you eat is about money. Yeah. Where you live. So it feels so deeply personal. My therapist told me, she was like, money embodies the character you have until you give it a different character. So until you learn to be disciplined and an investor, it's you. Who you are is just like translated into money. So here there's no guilt. Whatever it is that we're going to be talking about, we're not shaming anyone. We're not saying you're bad. Everyone has different money personalities. We're just going to get through this without being triggered.
Some are bad. let's be realistic.
Is yours good?
I feel like
okay.
some, and let me not say bad or good, but like some are problematic. If they hinder you from being able to achieve your goals, then they are problematic. You know what I mean? It's not like, this is just the way that I am. No,
and it's not just with my point of like this is not bad. It's like it's something which you can work towards. It's
Absolutely.
not a permanent problem that is about you and this is who you are. You can't change.
Yeah.
So it can grow.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I give one? Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. So I feel like you disrespect money when you say yes to things that you can't afford, knowing that you can't afford them, and you should say no. I saw, I think it was on Instagram, right? I saw on Instagram someone saying that when you're fighting for your life financially and you see yourself being added to another bridal shower group that will cause you to have to like withdraw from your savings to be part of, and I was just like, is it ever that serious, guys? Is it ever that serious? Yeah. Obviously, this is rooted in many Africans don't like talking about money. People don't want to be able to be like, I know you invited me to dinner at Kempinski, but to be honest, right now my budget can't allow it, so I won't be able to come.
Yeah.
Are people willing to say that? Are people willing to actually have that conversation with their friends? Or is it just like, we're just gonna go, but can you afford it though? Yeah. And people are not willing to say no. You'd rather go and borrow money from who to come and have dinner with people instead of having to give them the reality of just like, I can't afford this right now.
Yeah. Saving face is so big in our culture. I don't understand why we want to save face.
For what?
For who? For what? And I like what you've said, because it's having, in the industry, it's called having champagne taste on a beer budget.
Ooh,
so you want those fine things in life, but you can't afford them. So you end up probably maybe even going into debt. And even this wedding group you've been added to, please, I promise you, some of those people getting married now have also taken a loan to have you at their wedding. Yeah. I remember seeing an episode on YouTube, and it was John Alanamo. Man, thank you so much for being so vulnerable. John said he was knee deep in debt financing his wedding.
Oh
for
my God.
Over 500 people. And of course, in hindsight, he just wished he didn't do that. I was like, this is interesting. That is disrespecting money.
It really is.
I feel like there's a lot of shame that comes with saying, I can't afford this. That is basically whatever you've decided it's I'm poor or I'm whatever, or I'm broke, or I don't have the freedom. There's something that is attached to it, and that's why people are willing to do anything to avoid that, because there must be some kind of punishment you're getting on the other side. And I know for sure what my relationship with money started getting better when I broke that shame. When it actually, when I think about it, I feel like I remember that feeling of like just feeling like I wasn't able to just say, no, I can't do this. It's like, what's this person going to see me as? All of that. So.
But would you say, so I feel like, first of all, I feel like it's different for men versus women. I don't know why I just kind of feel like as a woman, I feel like it's more acceptable to me when a woman says that she doesn't have money, but if like a guy says it, it's kind of just like, why though?
Because they're economic.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like, why don't you
have money?
Why don't you have, exactly. And actually, I remember you saying something like this on your platform where it's like, you had to break a thought of just like, when people don't have money, it's just like, why don't you have money? I genuinely think that sometimes it's just like, but why? What do you mean you don't have money? Because there's someone in their 30s. I'm just like, no, unless you're literally lazy, why would you not have money?
Oh God, no. I see it so many ways. I feel like part of that whole guilt dance was because I was aware that there are so many things I was afforded that really had nothing to do with me. It's like where I was born, the schools that I went to that had nothing to do with me, afforded me the tools, the smarts or whatever to do a lot better. And yes, people can be super wealthy and when you're not from it, but it's way harder. It's way harder. So I feel like I'm always aware of how, if it wasn't for the mom who you had, if it wasn't for maybe where you were born or these opportunities,
you might also not have money.
Yeah, would it be as easy for you to live the way that you do?
Yeah, I guess not. I always feel like I try to make space in my circles to let the people around me know that if you don't have money for something, you can say, or you should say, because sometimes I feel like when you're coming from the place of more privilege, it's like maybe sometimes it's on you to create the environment to like, if you don't have, you can also just say kind of thing, But how to do that while not also taking financial responsibility for everyone's everything?
Exactly.
It can be really, really,
because I don't have an issue with people now. I mean, and it's something I learned. I don't have an issue with people saying they don't have the money. I have an issue with you constantly saying it and being in that space where you require to have the money. I think that's
without doing anything
about it. Where you constantly say, I can't afford, but you're not trying to ask yourself, okay, I want this, so how can I afford it? You constantly have no money, but you're there constantly drinking my drinks. You constantly have no money, but you're constantly... asking me for a lift. That for me is why I'm just like I get your situation, but do something about it. And I don't mind even helping. I make a lot of money lending money to people, by the way, because I charge hefty interest. But
you've had
my issue is my issue is, why are you constantly putting yourself in spaces that also make other people uncomfortable also? I don't know how it sounds.
Maybe that's their money personalities, because I feel like some people just naturally have a I don't know if I would call it like a poverty mentality, where it's like they look at maybe Ivy and they're just like, but that's just Ivy. That's what she is. They don't see like they can also get to the level that Ivy or Lydia or Murugi has gotten to. They are just like, me, this is the estate in life that I've been born into, and this is where I am. So they don't even think that way of just like, how do I then get to the next level? Which I feel like I hope conversations.
I don't want to. I don't want to take the accountability. I don't want to have to save or pay for a course to learn. I don't want to have to do that.
Right.
It's just easier for me to bitch at you and you give me a lift and I have your drinks and just, life is so hard. It's just easier that way.
It's
for
true.
Sure. It's hard confronting. Actually, in the first class, I'm doing Ivy's A Guide to Being a Dollar Millionaire. And the first class is like, I was like, where am I? I just felt like everyone in the class must be like so much more like cognizant and financial literate. And here, that's hard. That is hard. It's easier for me to just
just
vibes.
Like today, is your rent paid this month? It is.
Same vibes.
Thank you.
Vibes is better. So I can see why it's hard to.
I get that.
It's hard to change. All right. So this is my one. I'm disrespectful to money when I don't invest in my financial literacy. And
thank you.
Just
Lydia, you're not getting. Now you're getting. You think you're getting now 100% because you said that in front of the course owner. Surely.
Yes. Please carry on with that very, very important point.
Let me tell you, today we had a class that really shook me as far as how much I've been losing because I was ignorant and I was choosing to stay ignorant about finances, from the perspective of what opportunities could I have created for myself, how much of my money could I have used to create wealth that's not just about me, that goes beyond me. And the idea, and I was saying today, is like the idea that what I don't know won't hurt me doesn't count here. It is hurting you every single day. And actually now when I'm looking how much I've spent this month, I'm like, if this has been my lifestyle, like what could I have done? And when you calculate your money annually,
no, don't do that.
Don't.
Our advice is don't. Because that's
so
painful.
It's like, it's not your fault that maybe you weren't taught these things about money to save. It's not. But at some point, there's some way you're contributing to this. And I've been contributing to that. Because as long as it's like I'm not in debt, I am spending within my means, but it doesn't matter if I'm spending all the money I'm earning, as long as that doesn't feel like it's me anymore now.
Yeah. Do you feel like this is something that has come in your 30s? Specifically.
No, for me, the reason why it started is like I was checking my checklist of like the woman who I'm aspiring to be, what she's got. Wellness, definitely check. Doing what she loves, check. General discipline in my life, check. A life that I love, check. Financial literacy. What's happening there? The financial literacy part. I know that woman I'm aspiring to be is a baddie with her investments.
That's why an element of
because I feel like I've got myself together with the other stuff. So now it's like, what's the missing piece? The thing that you're ignoring under that chair.
I guess so. When did you get interested in financial literacy?
Probably maybe around 4 years ago, when I used to, where I worked, I used to see like my bosses buy big cars, live in fantastic homes, and I was like, what exactly do they do their money? Then I realized in employment, the conversations we would have were so shallow. It was, okay, an insurance guy is coming, are you going to get insurance? You don't even know why you're buying it. Or a SACCO guy is coming, if you save in through this SACCO, I'll get a commission, so you do the same thing. But nobody was talking about money as it truly mattered. And when you go to the Googles, people are talking about investing, 401k, buying real estate. I'm like, how are people able to do this? And then I realized I was spending a lot of time on social media, on my phone, comparing my hair, comparing my body. But this is a tool where people could also really talk about money. So I decided to start talking about money on my Instagram because I genuinely wanted to learn and I wanted to be rich. Also, I have 2 children to feed. You get interested in money when it's needed.
Yeah.
When it's needed. Yeah. That's when I started trying to figure out money.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm definitely. I guess I'm still in that one of like not of the financial literacy is still kind of like a little bit, but I feel like it's just I haven't structured my financial literacy understanding, but I do my best to like read about it. Where like your Money Mondays, I always feel like Money Monday I'm in class.
Yeah.
Are we not in class?
Are we not?
Are we not learning? We are there. We are learning something. So I feel like I'm always open to like getting more information, but perhaps it just has not been like in a very structured way. I think it's mostly now when I started my business that I was just like, wow, I think I need to know more about just like businesses, and then also this thing of like being somewhere and thinking, how is that person affording that, by the way, or like how much is that person making that they're able to do X and Y and Z, and I'm like, where is that money coming from? I spend a bit too much time thinking that, by the way. Like on social media, I see someone just like, this person buys new car, I'm like, really? Just from being that one movie? Then now you've got a new car. Is that where it's from? Kind of thing. It's like, yeah, I also spend a lot of time thinking that, but I need to structure my financial literacy more.
And we're doing great. We're tracking our expenses.
Exactly.
Because it's a journey, actually. Even after the course, you have to keep revising, you have to keep speaking to people, you have to keep reading the books, and then you have to keep practicing.
Yeah.
It's such a journey that requires a lot of discipline and grace, because you will make a few mistakes. And if you make those mistakes, it's not about, oh my God, I cocked up. I cocked up. It's about saying, okay, we live, we learn, we forgive ourselves for our past money mistakes, and we move on. So it's a journey that requires a lot of grace.
We forgive ourselves for our past money mistakes.
Yeah, I forgive myself for sure, because I'm not even looking in that.
For the dresses you bought last week. Lydia literally bought two Valentine's dresses from the same place, and like they are both red, just for the Instagram picture. Ask her.
I will not. I won't. Let me tell you, I want to report Morugi because I've grown as a person.
I'll have you.
I've grown as a person. That Lydia was in the past.
She's just a different person. Yeah, you're right.
My other one. Okay, good. Now I can go into my notes because I wrote a few. Wait.
Good. Yeah.
Let me just unlock the phone.
I too.
All right.
Was just there.
Let me admit this one. And this is before, of course, I started my course, which is now my business. I realized I was disrespecting my money when I would use money from my business for personal whatever. Yeah, especially when I was starting out in content, and I didn't realize that you can actually build a business around content. So you just get some cash instead of thinking maybe I could budget and maybe buy a camera or maybe buy a better phone. It goes straight to spending. So especially if you're in business, your business money is not your personal money. Separate your accounts. Separate your accounts. Then that way you'll see that you're actually not making money at all, because the business money should stay in the business. Because here's the thing. If I were to sell just Ivy Africa today as a brand, the first thing they'd ask for is like my statements for the past 2 years or 3 years, just to see how I'm running my business money. But if you're constantly sending money from that account to your personal, you're disrespecting your business. You're disrespecting your money.
Can I ask?
That's interesting. I probably want to ask the same question.
So the tricky part about being a content creator is like, I am
the
a brand,
business, yes.
and it's my money. So like now, before you establish your own, like now Lydia KM as a company, it's like that money like comes to me like a salary.
Not as salary. Well, I
But
mean,
at the
like,
end.
yeah,
But
it's
I'm
all
saying
you.
salary could be a
Yeah,
bit-
I know what you mean, because that's what I do
Exactly.
too.
It's like, so I've made this money. At least these days, most days now, my PA just keeps it, and then I get it at the end of the month.
Yeah.
I've been paid.
You've been paid.
Yeah.
The mistakes, I'm going to speak for myself personally.
Yeah.
What I realized, I didn't have a strategic plan, long-term plan for my business. Because saying you're the brand, you're
Your
not making
business
the
being
money.
your page, just Ivy
You
Africa.
as the page, because that is your business.
Yeah.
You are paying taxes.
Yeah.
For example, there's withholding tax from the companies you're running with. You invest in makeup, you invest in clothes, you have a PA you're paying, you hire sets, you pay these people here shooting. It's a business.
Yeah.
So
TMI
where is that
is-
money? Yeah.
Well, TMI.
So what I started doing was, if I get a job from, let's say, a particular bank, I cost out everything. My makeup, how much I'll use on data, admin, how much I'll spend on fuel to go, so that I can see if I'm making profit or not. Because you might think you're keeping the money good, but Lydia, remember what you were saying before, if when you're not popular anymore, will you be able to sustain that lifestyle by just getting the money from, the bank, I'm easy, PA paid.
Yeah.
But do you understand how much you spent in creating
Running
the
my
content,
business.
running that, in creating that one picture? Even understanding that one picture stays on your page forever, and it's still giving revenue or business back to the person who paid you a year ago. So if I started removing pictures, I'm like, it's not evergreen anymore. Take this out, because why am I giving you marketing for free and you're not paying me?
My God. Whoa. Wow.
How much?
I've
is
never
it?
thought.
Then you cut. So sometimes even if I'm called for a meeting in Thika, I'm like, you have to pay for my time because I will spend time to come there. I will spend fuel to come there. I'm not even sure you're gonna give me the job. That's why nowadays even event appearances, I can't do
you
event
must
appearances
be
for free
charging.
because it's expensive. So as soon as I registered the company, and I registered the company because of lawsuits, just have a limited liability company if you're a content creator, because if you say the wrong thing and you're sued as a person. But if you have a company, you're limiting
The
your
company.
liability.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's so many
Well,
things.
okay, those are definitely things I've never thought about it like
the
that.
way, like I feel like because I've never thought about it that way, but I've always known. Like now, Kagi's business, like money, never
Kagi,
touch
yes,
that.
yes.
TMI,
Yeah.
you know, it's like
Wild. It's different.
Why don't we see ourselves as businesses?
It's
Maybe
food
it's
for
because
thought.
it's food,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay,
I think it's
for
because
sure.
of the way it grows. It just starts as like a thing,
Organic.
or just organic. But then before you know it, oh, now I'm big. Now there's millions.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh yeah, but that's the way that it's. I do the posts. They send me the money. Done.
Truthfully, it's just like we haven't just been intentional about it for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's true. When you think about all of the math, if you include everything that you spend, your time,
The
everything.
lawyers' fees, because
Yeah.
the lawyers,
Oh my
guys.
God.
It's
yeah.
like would we even charge that? Would we
I
charge
do.
what
I
we
think.
charge if we
Yeah.
counted things that
Yeah.
way?
'Cause you
You've
disrespect-
definitely given us food for thought.
Yeah, good.
Because I would never go and spend wild money. Because
No,
I
I
think of
wouldn't,
wild as a
for sure.
business.
Yeah.
But it's mine. I just
Or
think about it. It's
TMI.
like it's just Murugi. Oh, I guess
Yeah,
not.
Murugi's business got her the most fantastic, beautiful car I've seen outside. Guys, Murugi's car is
Business.
It's quite
disgustingly beautiful.
Thank
I'm
you.
so inspired.
Thank you
But
so
which
much.
business did that for you?
Yeah, yeah.
Come
So is it like do we see ourselves as employees?
That's
Because
the
that's how
question.
we're acting, right?
There's
So
different ways you can pay yourselves from a business. You can be an employee, you can pay yourself through shares. There's different ways you can pay yourself. You're doing Centennial Entrepreneur. They have a class around paying
Yeah, I'm
yourself as a
waiting. Yeah,
business.
I'm only on week 3, but I'm sure at some point I'm going to learn about it. Yeah, I can see why, to Lydia's previous point, why financial literacy can come across as like such a over there kind of thing, because it just feels like there's so much to know.
Yeah.
Is it like, would you say you have achieved financial literacy?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah?
Oh, hell no. Not at all. Not at all.
So what does it, like, where,
But it's like
at what
healing,
point?
I guess.
It
Oh,
is a
right.
healing. Thank
Have
you.
you
It's a
healed?
journey.
It's just a journey.
It's just a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the way I would definitely see it.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing it more like, yes, just Ivy is over here, but remember between her and where you are steps. It's not a hop or a cartwheel.
Yeah.
Or a flight.
It's steps.
Yeah.
Just a step.
Oh my God.
And by the way, anyway, you know this. I deeply admire the way that you run Just Ivy Africa. In fact, like today I was on the website and I went on the Ivy part. I was like, this is a person. Like they just constructed things in just an intentional way.
Thank you.
It's incredible.
Thank you.
It's not even like you've. I think the way you run it is like people abroad. I think I see that
Exactly.
more
People
with
abroad,
people
yeah,
abroad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No,
Yeah,
for
just
real.
blush.
Just
Come
blushing.
on,
Just
come
blush.
on. Thank you. Thank you.
so
Just
much.
blush.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're just one degree of separation. So
That's
as long
it.
as I
She's
can
right
touch-
here.
Right here.
Right here.
Yeah, exactly.
Right
That means
here.
financial literacy is in the neighborhood.
in the
Thank you.
neighborhood,
Thank you
next
so
door.
much.
Because I like how you asked, do you think you're literate now? Like, because
Yeah.
even the course we're doing with Lydia, it's called The Guide to Becoming a Dollar Millionaire. The reason I wanted to do it was because I love learning from people who've made it. But I realized I had no idea how wealthy people think, so I wanted to see if I could get into their minds. So you see, that's a new aspect entirely, that the wealthy have trusts that pay for their weddings.
Yeah. We
That's
were in the
amazing.
class and Ivy was like, I know nothing. I'm like, Sasa sister.
Now you know nothing.
If you know
Sembusa
nothing.
Sisi.
Sisi?
Yeah,
And
my
she just
God.
proudly said that in a class. I was like,
I'm a
okay.
potato.
Oh my
Please.
God, yeah.
You live and you learn every day.
Oh dear Lord. Yeah, we'll leave a link in the description box below if you want to sign up for that course, because they'll have a new cohort in May.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely signing
come,
up.
please
I feel like I would like to be a dollar millionaire. That sounds cool.
Right?
That sounds kind of nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Guys,
Yeah.
let me just. Anyway, wow. Jeez. Okay, I feel like I disrespect money, me personally as Murugi, when I over empathize with people and their problems, and I feel that it is my responsibility to help them solve those issues, those problems. It's definitely, I don't know if I'll say it's a Pisces thing, or if it's a second born thing, or if it's a guilt of being the one in the family that made it thing, or if it's just like a, I just don't like seeing, I don't know, people suffering when I feel like, oh, you have the money. Literally, that 2,000 is nothing to you, but to them could be everything. Where now I end up spending many of those 2,000s. And then in the end, I wouldn't say that I get bitter, but in the end, it's just kind of like it's giving, and then sometimes feeling like I'm drained, maybe emotionally, for feeling like I'm responsible for other people's problems. That feels disrespectful of money to me.
Yeah, that is tough.
Okay. You have your own emergency fund, because it sounds like you pay for people's emergencies all the time. You have your own? Okay. Start respecting your money. Because if you had your own, the one thing you would remember is your friends, your family's emergencies are not yours. So you literally don't, if they'd come
But
to you...
let's query that statement.
I used to be like that. I lost a lot of money to someone else's emergency. And I beat myself down for it, Murugi. For the longest time, I beat myself down until I forgave myself and I was like, let it go. And that's the other thing that will also help you with your guilt. When you give money to friends and family, consider it gone.
Well, yeah, I definitely consider it gone. Yeah.
Consider it gone. But for me, what I'm fearful of, or the opportunity I see for you, is that if you paid yourself first in ways where you just distribute your money, you actually wouldn't afford people's problems.
Yeah,
like
you'd
be like, imagine, I want to, but I genuinely can't afford because the money is there in your rates. It's locked up in my fixed income fund. I've put in something for a mortgage. I literally can't afford to give you that 2,000 bob. I'm sorry. And the rest of my budget is for my family. I have to buy food. And here's the thing. I'm not even saying live in deprave yourself. Say, please, I have to buy my car a light that costs
360,000.
360,000.
Lord, no one break my lights, please.
Please. I think if you're getting in Dubai, it'll be cheaper. But
God.
I have to go on holiday at the end of the year. My money is mapped out, so I can't afford your 2,000 shillings right now. Sorry.
I can't imagine those words coming out of my mouth.
But when it's true, maybe it'll be like, because if it's tied up, it's like...
Because actually, you don't have it. So it's true. That's what I did. That's why when we were talking about, do you run out of money? I'm like, yeah. There are times I'm telling you, I can't come for the party. I can't give you, I can't. I don't have it.
Okay, so for me, maybe an added element is I love the idea that people perceive me as not being able to afford anything. Do you understand? As it's also a perception thing. I like that when you look at me, you're just like, wow, Murugi is so wealthy. I like people having that perception of me. Do you understand? And that's
I love how honest this channel is.
Yeah. And so for me, it's just like I feel like it would be detrimental to how I imagine I want people to perceive me.
Yeah.
It would be detrimental to me for me to be like, oh, sorry, I can't afford that 2,000.
Okay.
Do you understand what I mean?
Detrimental if all that money passes through your hands now, but your working age, when you're making all this money, and then when you're 50, 60, you can't retire because truly you don't have good money.
It is, yeah. And so that's why I'm dealing with that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Warren Buffett says this thing. I'm reading The Tao of Warren Buffett. It's a fantastic book. It just explains his lessons. And he says, only when the tide recedes will you know who was swimming without shorts on. And it's to do with stocks and that type of thing. But all of you are there swimming and you're thinking, hey, when the water moves back, you will notice who had no shorts on because they did not prepare for that tide.
Let me tell you, let me give you some hope though. A lot of my shame has dissolved around necessarily feeling like I can afford this, I can be the person to do this. It's dissolved when I've realized that now there's just a different goal, which is I want to say, like now how you're saying, you don't necessarily you're not liquid, but you have all of these thousands of dollars invest. It's just changed it. And I think it's just knowledge. It's like, because if you know how you can be more wealthy and stuff like that, then you are like, okay, so this is what I need to do. Then it's just the priority shift. Like you are okay with saying, like now how she's here comfortably saying, sometimes she doesn't have, she's way below what your minimum of seeing in your account is, but what are her investments? So it just changes the priorities. That's the shift I can see just by learning more about money. It's your priorities are just different. I'm like, okay, so I'm saying yes, I can afford it right this second, but really if we are all told put your investments down, who here has the least money?
You're right. Who actually if you look at the whole entire portfolio,
who has the
you're
least
right,
money?
yeah.
It's probably you. So maybe it's like it feels like I'm probably the brokest in the rooms that matter. But really in these other ones, it's like, oh, I seem so rich and I've got all this money I can do. But really in the rooms, if some people walked in here like that, hey, you feel like, oh, so I have nothing.
Yeah, actually you're poor.
You're poor.
Yeah.
So I think it just changes. Like information just it's just change the priorities just a little bit.
I need that shift. I need that mental shift to be there because I feel like maybe it was that I, because of the fact that I attached so much of like the image that I want people to have of me, and almost like it's accessible. Like where she is I can get there, but it's definitely not where I am. Like when people see me like that, I like it, and it's an ego boost, and that's honestly it's just
true.
truthful.
Yeah. Me
It is
too.
an ego boost.
Me too.
And so now to even fathom, now it's just like, okay, I've put my money away in these investments, and so now literally no, I only have 50K in my account. Like, wow, can I I'm even nervous just at the thought of that.
I think
baby
Yeah,
steps.
true,
Yeah.
true,
Yeah.
I just need. I'm looking forward to that course.
And so maybe
Woo,
somebody's
girl.
like, oh my God, like I feel sick that my kids don't have a trust that has 100
Oh, right,
million.
you see?
Oh, I
Everyone's
feel
problem-
sick. You know?
Imagine.
It's like
Everyone's
that's
problems are
It's
different.
just
Yeah.
like everyone just has the things that they're thinking about in a really different way.
Girl, you're right.
Yeah.
So this is one way that I used to disrespect money. I disrespect money when I don't talk about it.
my
I feel
God.
like more shame is built around what we do, what TMI is about, which is sharing as much as possible so that we can just remove this kind of veil of shame that's put on like sexuality and stuff like that. It's the same thing with money. And where did I learn how to talk about money? When I was living with someone. And I remember one of the biggest rules that I heard, if you're going to live with a partner, is that the thing that eats you out the most is money, is the aspect of money. So to get ahead of it, I had to literally make myself feel like I'm going to vomit by talking about it and talking about it all the time. That's the thing that helped me go on the other side. But mostly because I felt like the survival of our relationship and my healthy dynamic was dependent on me talking about it. Would I have been this way now? I would not have. That's true. But when I had to, I was like, I just had to talk about it, and it got me used to talking about it a lot more. I feel like even me and you maybe talk about money more now.
We do.
Yeah,
I feel like
there's
we
a time
do.
where
Yeah.
we didn't talk about money, and then we slowly become a bit more open.
Yeah.
Even talking about how much we earn, what-
Tracking and all that. Yeah, we definitely went there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like ignorance eats you a lot more when you keep it quiet, when you don't say anything about it. So I feel like that's a big way. As a culture, we're actually disrespecting money.
Yeah.
And when you talk about it, also you have to be so cognizant of how you talk about it. Because if you're the type of person who says money is the root of all evil, that's disrespecting money. Easy come, easy go. Actually, to me, a person in
Izoe.
let me just spend it. Those are
That's bad.
very negative connotations
that sounds
around
bad.
money.
To me,
Pesa
Pesa in
Izoe. Yes, change that to what? Let me invest money so that I can have freedom later. Don't. Because what you do is you give
Who
yourself
invited
false bravado that you have it, but
This is
truly,
correct.
can you? So also how you speak about money is extremely. Speak positively, spread love, light, gratitude. Like when you get money, do you say thank you? Sometimes you're like thanks. Honestly,
yourself.
You say sometimes you even tell the client, I've received my payment, thank you.
All right.
Something as simple as that. Even saying thank you to
more.
God.
It's about damn time.
If you're prayerful, say thank you to your God. This is good. Another way to say thank you is also to give charity. Like you do charity for those, for example. So how you speak about money, I realized what you put out is so important. If you're always saying I'm broke, you will be broke forever. So yeah.
My God, you're really spitting such facts here.
Yeah.
Lydia and I feel like this is one of those episodes we'll now watch back so we can write nicely. I hope you guys have notebooks
You have
because
to speak about money positively.
So yeah, I don't. Yeah, how do I speak about money? I don't know.
I think you speak very well about money.
You think so?
Once you figure out
try
your
to like have
priorities.
like abundance and attraction
You
and
speak abundance because you're
Yeah.
sitting here like, see me, I'll have money. What are we doing? Me, I'll have it. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
spend it.
Yeah.
I think you speak very well about money.
Thank you.
It's a good step.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, Lydia. Now that you said that you speaking more about money has not when you said living with him. I'm just wondering, in what context were you guys speaking about it? Was it more of like this is how much I have, or was it more of like okay, what are our views about money, or like how?
So before we started, before we moved in together, we had a money conversation, which was, okay, so how do we set up money? Like who pays for what or whatever? But that now had to have a conversation of what do you bring? Because before we divide who's doing what, it's like we need to know what how much you earn or how much you earn so that we can know how we're going to divide it. So that was the first conversation. It's like, how are we going to divide money? Then every so often it's just like, okay, me, the spendthrift who's just like, who cares about money? I want to go out, I want to do this. And it's just like, well, like we don't necessarily need to do that. That's a conversation about money. I want to run away. I want to go away. I don't want to talk about this. But I have no choice because this person is presenting themselves with, this is not making any sense. I don't think we should do this. So then you have to just sit in the discomfort and actually be like, why doesn't it make sense? Or, whatever it is you're going to ask, you have to talk about the money. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like
You want to go away. Who's whatever.
what's the exactly? Okay, I'm wondering. I feel like generally I wouldn't say that I've struggled talking about money, but I wonder if that's just because of now the privilege. It's like I feel like it's easier. Or maybe correct me, maybe this is wrong, but I feel like it's easier to talk about money when you have it. I feel like when you don't have it, it's a lot harder to talk about money, because like now for me, I'm talking about, let's say I'm talking about my husband. Yeah, I earn this a number of hundreds of thousands or millions or whatever. This is what I like to do towards it. It's a very different conversation from I'm talking about money and it's like I'm really in debt and I owe this person and this person, and I earn very little and I need to pay for my family. I wonder how people, let's say someone watching, how they are able to have, what you can advise them how to have conversation about money when you don't have the money.
Okay, so
you know what I mean?
But guess what? They don't have money from whose perspective? Because you're living, if you're earning, you have money. Maybe it's not millions, but there's money to talk about. So whether it's 10 bob you're talking about or 100,000, it's the same conversation. I have 100,000. What do you have? 10K. It's like not having money. As long as you're earning, as long as money is coming, there's a conversation to be had. Even electricity, kids going to school, the conversation is there no matter where you are with it. But of course, having to tell someone, especially someone who's financially literate, oh, I don't have money, that is a difficult one. But just like, I guess, healing of any kind, it's not supposed to be easy.
It starts
You're supposed
somewhere.
to feel uncomfortable. You're supposed to feel like, I really don't want to be here opening myself up. But if you don't, the thing that's eating you is going to keep eating you. But if you share it, maybe this person's going to tell you, okay, this is how I do it. Oh, babe, all right, fine. Okay, let's have a payment plan for your debt. It's better that way. But I think it's hard. It's definitely hard.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah,
Do you guys feel like people are more attractive when they have money?
100%.
Men are.
So am I.
Huh? No, as in, I'm thinking about a man's person. Like if I look at a man, for sure, the idea that he has money shoots him.
Okay, does the concept of like having money, is it like a certain number, or is it he has more money than you, he earns more than you?
No, I feel like when I see that you have access to a lifestyle that I'm not able to yet, that is like, yeah, for me, that's what it is.
You,
yeah.
Ivy?
Yeah, you have to have more than me.
You have more than me.
You have to have more than me. Stored up somewhere, And for me, I mean, where I am, if we're not having conversations around like investments and where we are 20, 30 years from now, I think that's a problem. But you have to have more than me, because I like to date people who can mentor me. So if I'm here and I'm talking about 100K and to you it's, you have like a 150, I don't think I can survive. I have to talk about 100K, then you talk to me about 10 million. So I'm like, tell me.
Yeah.
Hey, your standards are high. Fucking hell. I know. It is really attractive. But not to say that the ones who don't have money are ugly, They're just not as attractive, right?
I also had a conversation, by the way, recently with my friend, and he was, okay, I'm not even going to say what exactly we're talking about. We don't want to get into that conversation. But what he was saying is that there's a stereotype of a particular man from a particular culture about how they spend, how they treat women, everything like that. Then this other culture who's usually told to be stingy.
Luo men versus Kikuyu men. Where are we? On TMI.
What is going on?
TMI media. We can say it.
I'm trying to tread carefully.
Just say.
Anyway, from that perspective, what he was saying is that, like, you see now, because I don't want to encourage those stereotypes, because he was saying that what tends to happen is that, for example, him and his friends will get paid X amount, 10 million, whatever the case may be, and then when you talk about it after a year from now about what they did, you see this people who are being stereotyped to not have. It's like they did this, they invested in this, and whereas this one is like they went to show all of you a great time.
They upgraded their words, upgraded their words, upgraded their words.
So it's like sometimes people are seen to be stingy because they are not going with the current wave of spending. Whereas really, it's like my priorities are just different.
Exactly.
Like I want to be at, like, in 10 years time, 20 years time, as you're saying, we're going to see who was swimming without
So based off of what you've said, then do you worry about how you're going to select a future mate? Because the reality is that by the time you now see, but by the time now, let's say now you're attracted to a man who shows you that they're living a a certain kind of lifestyle, then you end up being attracted to that, and then so you end up getting engaged or marrying that person. And by the time most people are having that financial conversation, you're pretty far on in the relationship.
Yeah.
So you end up then now having selected the person who is showy and more lifestyle-y, but actually doesn't have that much investment or whatever. And the person who you dismissed because he was looking broke and like his car was like a Probox or whatever, now kumbe he's the one who actually had the dough.
By virtue of being Kikuyu, I know that most people who speak about money or who are boisterous about it are not necessarily the ones who have it. So that's one. Yeah. Two, what I meant by lifestyle is, for example, you have like business meetings all over the world. I don't have access to that kind of lifestyle. So there's it's no longer there. You are buying the best car or whatever. Maybe you even came in the person who looks the least, but the conversations which you're having or the business meetings you're having or who you're talking to is impressive to me. That's what I mean by lifestyle. I don't necessarily need you to be the one who's buying 10 bottles. I don't even drink in the club. You know, so it's a lifestyle in that way. In like, to be honest, right now I could not jump and jump into your life. I don't have access to that. That's what's attractive to me. Yeah,
maybe a happy medium. May feel like also it's like, okay,
we're not starving.
Yeah, we're not starving. We also and you're not like taking and do the everywhere. You know, it's like you have invested in a good car kind of thing, but also it doesn't have to be a 2023 Range Rover. You know, kind of things. Like there needs to be something. Like a balance, you know, Jeez. Who's it?
Ivy.
Okay.
Is it her again?
Is it me?
Because I said about talking about money.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fine.
All right. I used to disrespect money. I disrespected money once, a long time ago, when I dated a broke guy who I used to fund. Which has to be discussed.
A word of silence.
Define fund. Like the lifestyle.
Like...
Did you send him pocket money?
Of course.
Oh my.
And access to my card. And this is where I learned actually, man, there's a very big difference between building with a man and building a man.
Bob the
We have said Bob the Builder in the building.
Or a person or whatever. So that was very disrespectful to my money. I had no business in my 20s, when my brain is not even fully developed, taking care of another human being in that sense.
Yeah.
So I lost a lot of money doing a lot of nonsense in that relationship. So nowadays I'm just like, man, you build, I decorate.
I love that. Put that on a total bag.
If you could turn an example, of the two. So now we get the clear example of what it means to build a man. What's the example of building with a man?
They've built you the house. You've come in and you're decorating. You're finding them in somewhere. You're finding them somewhere, and even if that place is not where you envision you'd be in 10 years, they are progressing to get there. It is not you coming in, giving them business ideas, funding the business, paying their rent, and literally pulling them with you. That for me is what is building. And if you've taken this person from scratch and you're building, and sometimes even and this is for Women's Day because I love that the theme is also about inclusivity. Sometimes we forget that our ideas, you can sell an idea, but you're here giving your partner ideas for free and they're running with them and going. And I promise you, when they build that company, they will not come back to you. Yeah. They won't. So for me, it's finding a partner at a good place, progressive, not potential, progressive. And then you move together.
That's some different,
progressive,
not potential.
Yeah.
If you could turn back time, what would you have done differently? Practically.
I don't think I had any business even dating at that time. I think I was too young. I had no knowledge of what dating really is. And I've spent a lot of my time alone. Yeah.
Because, I feel like we get a lot of, or we get some, let's say someone sending a dilemma where they're like, for example, we're in a relationship and like you're doing okay, I'm doing okay. Then at some point you lose your job. And now it's like, okay, we've been dating 2 years. So I'm not obviously not going to be like, now that you've lost your job, I'm now kicking you out or whatever, I'm blocking you. No. Obviously it'll just be like, okay, I know you're struggling. Let me send you something. I'll send you like a 5K because it's like, maybe for me it's like comfortable. Where should someone draw the line there?
How I date now, Murugi, is I think you would know in the beginning that I might help you once, but it's not going to be what I'll be doing. Please let's sort ourselves out. if you've lost a job and you don't have a job in a good amount of time, there's probably a problem with your networks or whatever. But how I go into relationships now, very, very clear that, because remember I said 100K, 10 million. I go into relationships now very clear that
There has to be something.
But I'm not going to become your,
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. For me, even in dating, like when I always this is the advice I usually give people. When we are dating, if we are not married, at the point of dating, there's no reason why your finances and my finances are meeting together.
Exactly.
You see, and that's usually one of my issues with like people moving in with each other, because once you move in with someone, inadvertently you just have to merge your finances. But for me, it's just like if you are not married, I don't understand where my dollars and checking accounts and shillings are meeting up with yours. You know, there's the like once kind of like helping, but otherwise I really don't see why they should meet or merge.
Not at dating stage, I think. And you want to talk because you're married, so maybe you can advise us unmarried ladies. But because once you show them that you can, I said this before years ago, when you show them that you can, you will continue to can.
I think that's true.
Yeah, you will continue.
So you will continue to can.
And that's what you're saying. Sometimes people just don't want to. They've figured the easy way out is, you will give me the money. Why should I work? So me, I'm very clear. Imagine, guy, if you have problems, figure yourself out. Get yourself out, baby. Get yourself out.
God, but then you're gonna encourage them, right?
Of course.
Or you're gonna just love them through it, right?
You have to love them through it. There's other ways to support without it being financial.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I can't, man.
I don't know a woman who's ever, like maybe 3 in the world, who have ever supported the decision to support a man through. There are just too many scary cases. But of course, we're going to tell you this. Even as people told us, but we still went and did whatever we did. But hear it again for the 18th time, it never works. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Damn. Sorry. Okay. Another way that I disrespect money, this is an active one. Another way I'm actively disrespecting money is materialism. I am such a things person. I really am a things person. When people give me things, I feel loved. When I give people things, I feel loved. I really like I relate a lot with things, whether it's like buying stuff, even buying stuff for my kids, giving my sisters things, giving my mom things. I'm really a things person, and that's problematic. That's problematic because sometimes I end up spending money on things that I don't need, or things that are too expensive. Things which just like, but why? What is the reason? Sometimes I'll literally just be home and I'll leave my house to just go spend money, to just go do shopping. Yeah, I'm just in my house doing nothing. Let me just go spend some money.
Let me tell you, not that I'm encouraging it, but one of the things that I think it's done, it's giving you this knowledge of things, which is like why you're like our plug.
This is why what I'm able to
yes. Mm-hmm. So there's a way that you've been able to monetize that.
That's true.
Because I realize for you to influence consumers, you need to be a consumer. You need to be a consumer of whatever it is you're doing.
And I'm such a consumer.
Wellness, things, whatever you're into, you need to be the consumer. So I feel like there's a way it's helped you. Not that I'm saying you should continue, but
I love that. And also in the beginning, I was going to tell you, I don't think it's bad being a things person. I like that you've said, okay, it's bad because sometimes I overspend.
Yeah.
And, it's not working out. But you're the type of person who should be consciously spending. So I have a problem with traveling nicely. I like good holidays. So like last year, we saved with my family from January to afford a holiday that cost a pretty penny in December. But you see, it was a conscious spending plan. And I'm conscious of the fact that I love good holidays.
Yeah.
But I'm also conscious of the fact that I don't care to redecorate my home all the time. My home looks the same. So instead of putting money in the home, I put money in the holiday. So you figure out if you love things so much, buy them, get them. Just get the money from something else that you don't necessarily truly love so much.
I guess so. Yeah. And I need to be more conscious because sometimes I realize that let's say I'll go somewhere and I'll buy something, let's say an outfit, but then I get home and maybe it's just like, but I don't really like this outfit that much.
Okay.
And now I'm not even going to wear it again, ever. So it's like literally I've wasted that money because then why did I want to take more time to think about the things that I'm buying before I buy them, as opposed to just Instagram ad, that's cute, okay, buy, and then it comes, it didn't fit, I'll just give it to my sister. Really? Yeah. So I definitely need to build that consciousness of spending, which I know I learned in your financial literacy class. I'm really putting my entire financial future in your hands because
Please do so. Yeah, because I will not leave you alone after the class. You will have a guided
wealth
wealth
manager.
manager. And I think you need one. I feel like you'd be such an exciting client for a wealth manager. They're like, oh my God, look at all this money and let's plan.
They need to fix me.
And then in like a few years, be like, Murugi, there's your property.
We're changing
Yeah.
this year.
I'm
We're
glad
sure.
that you're going fast because all the things we are learning, every time I see on your stories when you're talking about it, like when you have the meeting with your wealth manager, I'm just like, wow, okay.
I have a
okay.
wealth manager.
Wealth
Auntie Lydia is my name. Don't just call me Lydia.
Just
Auntie Lydia.
Just Lydia.
Bloody hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad that I'm getting to observe your journey.
Come through.
Exactly.
Murugi, I think you're good. Because the best thing about sitting here is realizing that you know your problems.
I know
You're
my-
aware of
yeah.
your opportunities.
That one I am aware,
So it's just
yes,
now the
exactly.
acting. So that
That's
same
the
discipline
thing.
you have in buying things for your people all the
Yeah.
time. If you just effect that in money, let me tell you. But also remember, Grace, it is not going to be easy.
Yeah. I actually feel nervous about somebody telling me to not spend. You know, it's just like I feel nervous about like, so you're telling me now I have the money but I shouldn't then just buy whatever it is that I want.
So Winnie told me, funny enough, after we saw like a clear picture of how much I'm spending a month, she was like, I don't want you to stop spending. I want you to live this exact life. Don't change anything. But let's see how we can make that happen for you in like an easier way. Like the interest that you're accumulating on your investments, how much more you've expanded your income to be able to afford the life that you live. So she's not going to tell you to not. She's going to be like, how can we keep you living this life, but in a way that also helps you achieve the other goals that you have.
I can't wait to meet Winnie.
Yeah, Winnie. She's also
can't wait to
listening.
meet
Yes,
Winnie.
That makes me really happy.
my wealth
I need
manager for a
to,
very long time.
Do we get to choose who? Because me, I want Winnie.
I told her
She
to
seems
say
lovely.
Winnie.
Yeah, I said Winnie.
So you'll get Winnie.
Thank you.
You'll get Winnie.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay, so this is
Alright.
kind of along one of the points that you've made, but this is where my stuff is. So I disrespect money when I over give. So when we looked at how much I'm spending, everything that's for this one, for this person, for this
For
person,
who?
that's majority of where my money is. And I guess like there's some element that I think that because of some of the stuff I'm saying about guilt and the things that I'm involving by, I feel like there's it's like I'm dumping away the money, like a subconscious dumping away for money because I want to give this equilibrium or this illusion of equilibrium, or it's just like if I have, then just share it with everyone, and there's something going on there. But we've only discovered since I've been tracking. In the course we were told God himself asked for 10%. So who is getting more than 10% of your money? And a percentage, a big chunk of my money is going to giving.
Yeah, same. And that's on black tax.
It's some of it is like I know that I've learned boundaries. I know that clearly. So why do I choose not to assert those boundaries in this situation? There's something going on there in my giving that we're gonna work through in therapy. But now I'm like 10% is this, and I know I've given like 20-30%.
Yeah, but not all to one person though, right?
It's not, but it's like it's this just constant giving. So now we've got to have structured giving and sustainable giving is where I'm going to. But yeah, it's a way of disrespecting your money when you're over giving and you're telling yourself it's like some kind of, oh, you're a good person or it's your responsibility. The truth is no.
Yeah. If you're feeling
Is
that
the
way,
truth
it's
no?
probably
The truth is no.
If you're feeling that you're over giving, because giving is beautiful, but if you're feeling that you're over giving, I can't wait for you to probably figure out your goals with your wealth manager and your budget, because you won't have money to overgive.
Yeah, she's like, we still, it stays here, then that's why you feel like you can take it from here.
Yeah.
But it's in an MMF.
Yeah,
You
won't
can't
be able
touch
to do
it, yeah.
You won't be able to touch it.
Yeah.
But I love that you're a giver. That's a good thing with money. Because have you guys ever listened to the podcast Oprah with this lady? She wrote The Soul of Money, the book The Soul of Money. I'll send the link so that you can also plug your listeners.
This is the 12th link we are now putting, but please,
Oh man, guys.
Beryl,
that's-
remind us when we are.
like that podcast is beautiful. And one of the things that I learned is It's called currency because it's like a current. You have to keep it flowing, and how you keep it flowing is also through giving. So think about money like water. Stagnant water is poisonous. It breeds weird things, but flowing water is fresh. It builds life. So I love that you're a giver. Don't feel guilty about that. And I love that.
Isn't that the same as Tumia Pesa we use? Isn't that the same?
No, because
currency.
That one is champagne taste on a beer budget.
Okay.
Tumia Pesa ni ikuzoe. It doesn't. I mean, why? And anybody who understands financial literacy knows you don't have to spend this money now. Like even if you see a good dress, you ask yourself, you tell yourself, let me see how I feel in 2 days. I promise you might not really want to
have a headache.
I too have a headache. Why in 2 days it could be sold out in my size.
And that's okay. It wasn't meant for you. It wasn't meant for you.
How often do you shop you?
Oh my God.
Because you always look so cute. Yeah, you always look phenomenal.
Actually,
so
you always look that you've spent at least 15K
on this outfit alone.
Oh, but then you don't do it all the time.
And I have access to fashion partners. So like I can look like money without spending it.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile.
Yeah. That's wise.
And even the partnerships I get with some of these people is every time if I market it and Lydia buys a dress from them, I get a percentage from that.
You really work on that. Everything's
I monetize everything. I monetize
and they always say no to
I don't
those
leave
ones.
money on the table. I monetize.
But how do you
every damn
track?
thing.
How are you able to track that?
It's not possible really. You have to track it from their end, and it's a headache for me.
That's
but
the thing. So
I live in abundance, and I work with people that I trust because I do my due diligence. And if you decide to take 10% from me, it's fine. Live with your lies and live with your whatevers. Otherwise, I'm very okay.
Wow, I love that. I feel like we've been leaving money on the table.
And that's a way of disrespecting your money. And I'd even put that on my list.
Continue. Now we have started.
Money on the table. And one of the best examples I give with this is when I was in employment and I took forever to get onto pension. Why are you refusing to get onto pension? If you're employed and your employer is giving you pension, even if you're not, you can pay for pension for yourself. This is for retirement. Pension first is tax-free. And two, if you're employed, the employer is mandated to give you half
to match your contribution.
Yeah. Why are you not
Why would
doing
you not?
it? Why would you not do it? So I realized a long time ago that I used to disrespect by not getting into pension quickly through my employer. So please take this as your sign to stop disrespecting money and stop leaving money on the table. If you can get something tax-free, take it because that's you leaving. If you're not doing it, you're leaving money on the table. So for example, if you're buying going into bonds, an infrastructure bond will be different from just a regular government bond because the infrastructure bond is tax-free. Why are you doing that? The way we learned about trusts. There's a way you can avoid, not evade.
Yeah,
avoid 30% tax and get wealthier quickly, but you're leaving money on the table because you're putting your money in a bank that's earning you simple interest of like maybe 6, 7, 8, 9%. Let's work with 9%. I know some banks are at 9% now when it could be in an MMF compounding daily. Why are you leaving money on the table? Maximize your returns, especially in this economy. This is the time to look, fine print. Okay, this one gives 9%, this one gives 12, this one gives 14. Okay, after tax, that's going to be like 10. How do I do it? Okay, fine. Maximize your returns. That's so that you stop disrespecting your money.
Okay, this is my question. For people who are low risk, people who don't like, I want my money to grow, but I don't want to risk losing the money for the money to grow. Do you understand?
100%.
So which ones are those ones? Are those ones still the MMFs?
Yes, MMF is very, very low risk. Things like government bonds are very, very low risk because chances of default are very, very low.
Right.
Although right now there are other conversations happening. What else is low risk? Fixed income funds are low risk. So these are platforms you put or investment instruments you put your money in that also reinvest back into low risk ventures. But even saying you're low risk and you just want to see the money in the bank, that same bank is using that same money to invest in
the high medium risk. Yeah,
thing.
You seem like a high risk person.
I am so high risk because I don't have time. I'm in my mid-30s. So I'm just like, you know what? If we just risk, we see.
And then what if something
you have to live with
lose?
that? Like right now, I have a corporate bond. I put in $10,000, and I'm very well aware if that company goes down, I lose $10,000, and I'm okay. I've sat with it. I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Are you a high risk person?
No, me, because I'm something more in like medium. Again, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah.
Like great,
when they were asking that, I was like, yeah, I think I'm willing to risk it a bit. I'm willing to risk it a little bit,
but not too much.
I think I have it in me to do too much. So thank God for a wealth manager. But yeah, I think I go towards more riskier.
Oh, geez. I don't know if it's that, maybe it's that I'm a mom or what. Maybe it's like if I had this money but I didn't have kids, it would be different. But now I just kind of feel like bird in hand is worth two in the bush. I know that's very limited thinking, but like right now, I'm just like, if I know that I have this 10 million and I can give my kids this 10 million vis-a-vis, I take that 10 million, I put it here and they might get 50 million or 100 million. Do I want to do that?
But would you take the whole 10 million though?
Exactly, that's the thing. Don't put the whole 10 million. If you're low risk and you just, as she said, baby steps, take 500K. And because when we talk about diversification of investments, we talk about diversification of the type of investment risk-wise and of course geographically where you're putting the money. Take a little bit that you'll be comfortable with using, whether it's even 200K, put it there, see what happens. Yeah. Because even for example, the fact that by virtue that you have kids means you have time to invest in higher risk instruments for them.
For the kids, yeah.
Mutana right now can be a millionaire by the time she's 17 if you put your money in the right places for her.
Wow, well that's what you needed to say.
Yeah.
That's all exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, lovely.
Buy her stocks now. By the time she's even 16, 15, she'll be rich because of you.
Even an MMF, right?
Yes. Compounding daily. And you keep topping up. Topping up.
If growing money or growing wealth is that easy, in quotes, why don't more people do it?
Because people don't know. People think you want to sit here and say, I want to be wealthy, but the first step of getting wealthy is learning and understanding money. You have to know how it works.
Yeah.
And you have to ask the questions. Yeah.
I was asking who's going to be the Jenga Karume of your generation, right? Because for whatever reason, everybody wants to be wealthy. Me, and that question was for me too, by the way. Want to be wealthy, but it's like it's gonna happen. I don't know.
Magically.
See, it's going to happen, and things are going to. I don't know where the idea comes from. It's like right now is not the most urgent time for me to know about money. Right now is not the most urgent time for me to invest. And I see that with me. It's like it just didn't feel like, is this really the priority? And I don't know why. Or maybe it's fear as well. And I also realize there's a lot of blockages with language. Like the second money people start talking, the rest of us are out.
The second someone says crypto, I'm asleep.
Bonds.
Good night.
Bonds.
I'm asleep.
Bond who? And those barriers really do make you feel like that just doesn't sound like it's for me. Like, oh, whoa, that's too intense. Like, oh, God.
So.
Yeah.
And I've never, I mean, it's not, sometimes I don't know, maybe it's that it hasn't occurred to me that rich people get rich by like, they get this money which they have worked for and they put it somewhere. Me in my head, it's more of just like, I will get wealthy by getting maybe a really big contract to a really big company, or I'll get wealthy by getting this huge brand deal of being the brand ambassador of something. Like that's why I see it's like the work that I will do will make me wealthy, as opposed to like the wealth I will get, I will put it somewhere that it will grow. Really? But I guess that's what your platform is teaching us
and
now.
In our industry, even in any industry in general, if you're making money, I've come to learn personally, it's so easy to make money. Keeping it is a problem. Because that money will make you wealthy. It will make you rich for a time. Wealth is built over a period of time. And here to help you ease things, like because one of our grandfathers of wealth, Warren Buffett, accumulated a lot of his wealth in his 60s. Because he's a very safe investor. He was just putting money in certain stocks. He does his due diligence, puts them in, and waits. So when he hit his 60s, when we're like billionaire, richest man in the world, but he just was chilling on money, chilling. So he was getting it, but he stayed wealthy. Getting money is easy, guys. I don't want people to think it's hard to make money. It's very easy. Keeping it is the problem.
Yeah. Jeez, how else do we leave money on the table? Not requesting, not quoting a good price for our services or whatever. That's also leaving money on the
100%. Diversifying our platforms. I don't know who I'm tagging, but she's somewhere here.
She's somewhere around here.
Somewhere around here, but she's being tagged.
We don't know who she is.
We don't know.
We don't know
That's who she is. So one of the things I've been telling Murugi is like the other day, by the way, when I saw that you have 75K 1,000 views on your stories.
Do you know that is the craziest thing on
in the world? And I'm just like, I'm sure there's a million people who are willing to pay
for me to
even if it's 1,000 bob, and you pay 100 people, 200 people, do cohorts.
For me, I feel like there's definitely ways in my life that I look at and I'm just like, I could be making more money in X and Y and Z. But for me, it's more right now, the season I am in my life right now, it's just, I also can't take that much more on my time. Like my time is really spread short between my platform, between TMI, between Wild and my family. Yeah. And so sometimes it's just like, if already I feel like I'm at a, you see how it's like a string, it's like, if I now pull it, it's now going to be like too much. I'm always just like, how much more can I give without it necessarily being like, now it's too much on me. So sometimes it's just like, okay, I'm willing to leave money on the table because I need to protect my time and my energy. How I was telling you, I literally don't see where people are getting time to watch 50 episodes of Risa Tisa, you know, kind of thing. It's just like, I don't even understand. I'm just like, do these people have 3 kids?
But let me tell you this, this is why I disagree with you a bit, because there's a live that you did at night, right? It was sponsored. Do you remember? With your kids. It was wonderful and hectic. Yeah?
For Cadbury,
Yes, because money was on the table, you found the time. So it's that you're not seeing this money that could potentially come as money that's there.
No, as something that I'm willing to sacrifice my energy and time for at that time. Like at that time, it's like I want the money, but am I willing to keep doing that lives at night? I'm not.
For 10 million.
What is 10 million to me?
What's 10 million to me? Nothing.
Do I look poor?
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. So anyway, so I guess it just depends. Maybe also just now there's like also like changes. Is like when my husband left, I feel like it was a different season. Now when he's back, it's like a different season. And then also like all these changes with Wild. It's almost like, for me, Wild is still a baby. So I'm still really focused on getting it off the ground and getting it to, now they had told us in Centonomy, they told us to do this survival, success, significance. And so we are like kind of at the success place, but it's like I want to get it to significance, so I feel like it's stable. Right now I still feel like it requires a lot of my oversight and a lot of my time, my energy, and I want to be careful not to add too many things to my plate. Then now I'm doing like, I'm half-assing everything. I'd rather full ass fewer things. But I really pray that this should be the year that I'm able to.
Amen. Honestly, we're praying for you. We're praying for you. I pray for you.
Tunakuombea.
And sometimes I look at that is I tell myself, I'm not sacrificing this for this. I'm investing in this. It's not a sacrifice. It's an investment in the future of this. Because Wild has potential to be like on the NSC.
Exactly. Right?
Just so like invest in what matters. Because maybe right now you'll see me doing a lot less brand work and investing more in my Mover Society. Because I'm like, I need to sell my product every day. The way you are selling Carrefour, why can't we sell our own thing every day and invest in that? So that a few years from now, people can see we're swimming with shorts.
How do you in your head, now that you mentioned that of the like less brand work, that's like a shift that I always consciously tell myself at the beginning of a year I want to make, but I really struggle to actually make it, because when someone now comes and says, okay, here's 400K to talk about this thing, you're like, okay, good money, like let me whatever, even knowing that it's going to take time, it's going to take, also some kind of like, when you post sponsored things, obviously it's something that it does to your platform vis-a-vis when you're just talking about your own things, but like just being able to say no to it is just something which is so scary to me, maybe, or things like that, or even like saying I'm reducing how many, let's say, small businesses I'm posting and like focusing more on this. For you, was it easy to make that switch to like, I want to focus more on Mover Society versus brand work?
I have a very nice, robust list of items that clients that I work with have to check before I work with them. So by the time you even get to the full checklist, it's made it easier for me to say. But the Mover Society for me actually was birthed from the need to monetize, because the brand work was not coming in regularly enough. So I was like, I can't sit here and wait for this.
That's what she said,
I can't sit here and wait for this. I'm like, I have to sell something that is true to me, and hence my investment club started. And it didn't start with me doing courses. It said with me doing free newsletters to 6,000 people. So I was like, how do I monetize? So that's what I can say to that. But the fact that we've been working in the industry for so many years, I'm very cognizant of the fact that I have the privilege to say no to something.
That's the thing,
because I have built my brand. So you also, as a content creator, you have to understand what season you are in your career, because if you're just starting, that might not be the time to say no. That's the time to say yes to the right people, so you can build your brand to a point where you can say no. Because someone like Caroline Mtoko, hi Caroline, I love you. Someone like Caroline Mtoko would say no very easily to so many things.
Yeah, exactly.
But she's built her brand over like 20 years. Yeah.
That is so true. Yeah, I feel like where I am is just like saying yes to the ones which make a difference, or which I'm really truly passionate about. So it allows me time to be able to work on the things that I want to
which
grow
pay well.
and which pay well.
Yeah.
Thank
and paying can be in money or in something else.
Equity or visibility, exactly. Equity.
Equity. You guys should be looking at
Do you do you foresee yourself doing any content creation workshops or in your academy now? Do you foresee yourself doing that, like brands?
That's a great idea. Let me write that down.
Look, you could have sold that
Like
idea.
branding.
She
We
has
can do it
told you
together.
you're leaving money on the table.
Even having family or friend discounts.
Yeah.
Why? Don't do that.
Oh, damn.
No, babe. I'm saying there should
have
be
three
nothing.
sisters.
There should be nothing like a friend or family discount for your business. In fact, these people should be compelled to want to support you fully.
That's
If
true.
not even to pay you even more.
Okay.
To even come help in your shop or anything like that. You're leaving money on the table by feeling like you can give friend and family. If you do that, do they give you strategic input? So, because for example, my sister helps me with my business, and sometimes they even pay her money because she's a great mind. Sometimes when my brother helps me, but they give me strategic input in exchange for some of these things. So those are the things that you're disrespecting your money when you think friend, family, utapata discount. Nah, fam. And even you friends and family, stop disrespecting your friends and family's businesses.
That's it.
Pay the
Thank
full price.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Me who happily received a Kagi Wellness PR package, but you offered.
Yes.
In
I
exchange
did.
for your
marketing.
platform.
Okay, you're right. Okay, fine. Yes,
that was a
you're
very
right.
strategic move.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought of
You're thinking. Yeah, wow. Ivy, you've given me too much to think about
I love it.
on a regular
I
ass
feel tension
Thursday.
in my chest, in my back, but I feel like that's growth. That's how you know
that's
you're
growth.
expanding beyond what you usually see. We're getting comfortable with talking about money,
Good.
and to be honest, we're like, I think I even did a video last International Women's Day about put money in women's pockets, but do we know what to do with it? Are we actually multiplying it? Are we empowering ourselves? Are we doing what we need to do to catch up with these other ones who have been doing it for so long? So it's our job.
Yeah, and
job.
and for me, I feel like it starts with believing that it's possible for us to gain financial literacy. It's possible for you to grow your wealth. It's possible for you to earn more. It's possible for you to be rich, for us to be wealthy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you just decide that that's not, you're just not made to be wealthy, already you've discounted yourself.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And I think you're making it, you're making people, well, for me, I'll speak for myself, you're making it seem possible to be able to do it because as you're right here, you're a person, also because we're in the same industry and you've really documented your journey growing. So it doesn't seem like it
Out of
just came
nowhere,
out of nowhere. It's
yes.
just like, no. We remember Ivy 2-3 years ago. Like, this is not how her brand was. This is not how her company was. You've seen it because you've documented it so well.
Yes.
It feels more like I can do this too.
Yeah. Okay, so before we close, can you tell our audience more about what the Mover Society is, what the courses are, and how they can start this journey towards their own financial literacy?
Awesome, thank you so much. So the Mover Society is an investment club stroke, an academy for movers and shakers. I don't call my people fans. I don't call them followers. You're movers and shakers by your own right. And it's for people who want to attain financial literacy, join a community of people who want to do the same, because it makes it easier to get discipline when you have someone else that you're exchanging ideas with. And for people who also want to grow in their career. So right now we've started financial literacy courses. We're in the second cohort. It's called A Guide to Becoming a Dollar Millionaire, because it is my personal belief that if you're thinking, think big, because you're using the same amount of effort. So it's not a guide to start understanding money. It's a guide to becoming a dollar millionaire. And it lasts 8 weeks. We cover mindset. We cover entrepreneurship. Today, our class is on networking, because that's the thing about dollar millionaires. Their networks are their net worth. And then we have fireside chats with experts in the industry. And here's the thing, you might ask me, am I a dollar millionaire? No. But the people who run the classes are people who manage dollar millionaires. And the fireside chats have been with people who are dollar millionaires. So you're learning from the people, like literal dollar millionaires. Like, I'm so excited for today's class with my friend on Wednesday. I can't wait for that. So 8 weeks. And then after that, we hand you over. In fact, we hand you over to a wealth manager by week 4 or 5. You have someone who can now build your goals with you, help you track your money, budget with you, and then help you start your investment journey. And you have this person guys, for a year. I have given, because I
Still
wanted it to be
unbelievable.
easy.
Unbelievable.
I wanted it
Literally,
to be easy and affordable for people to make money, because I feel like this information is gate kept. But I want it to be easy and affordable. You don't have to pay a lot of money right now. So get in now. We have an early bird price tag of $14,999. After a few weeks, it's going to go up. But that's that. Then we have other courses lined up, which is strategic storytelling, which is a course on public speaking. If you go for interviews, if you come and sit in places like this, if you go for media, whatever, we have a course on that. Our instructor is Sylvia Njambi. She's a LinkedIn Voice 2023, and she's coming down from Canada to teach you for 4 weeks straight.
I love that.
And then we also have a final course, which is our ESG course, Environmental Sustainability Governance. Climate change is real. How do you green your business? How do you run a sustainable business? And right now, there's a lot of money in clean tech. So if you also want to understand how to get funding for your business when it comes to green money, the Mover Society has that for you.
That's amazing.
It's like I'm building an online school.
Thank you. You really
Like
are.
I think I'll end up like as a Coursera or like as a Google Classes, something like that.
Do you feel like you will one day have a physical academy?
Like, for example, or like the building itself, I wonder if it's necessary. If I sit down with my accountant, whatever, I'm like, I wonder if it's necessary.
Yeah.
You see, for example, for clothes, it's different. Because
People need to try,
But I have a very good review for you from someone who went to your shop, and they were like, it was so perfect. They really loved it. Good,
So
good job.
glad. Thank you.
Good
Thank
job.
you so much.
So yeah, if I have a physical one, maybe what I'd really love to do is infiltrate the curriculum so that everyone can understand financial literacy. That's a goal of mine. Yeah, like
Okay, if
a course in
someone,
uni.
if someone is watching and they're just like, okay, this is not for me because why would I need a wealth manager and I don't have any wealth?
Oh, you don't need to have wealth to have a wealth manager. The first time I met with my wealth manager, my net worth was negative. I had nothing,
encouraging.
and that is what made my stomach feel like, what the heck am I doing? You don't need to have a wealth manager to accumulate wealth, but what you need to do is start investing in your financial literacy and investing in yourself. And investment in yourself gives the best interests.
Thank you. So if you're watching this and you're earning 10 bob, if you're earning 10 million, if you're earning 100 million, you can definitely still benefit from this. Yeah.
If you don't know how to handle 10 bob, you will never know how
not-
to handle 100. You'll
Thank
never
you.
know how to handle 1,000.
Thank
So
you.
even for that 10 bob, understand how to handle it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And of course, you can follow her, guys. Just Ivy Africa.
Across all platforms.
Everywhere.
Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Threads. I'm everywhere.
Thank you so much
I know.
for coming. As we said, we admire you so much, and the information you're giving to people is a way of empowering them in such a specific way. I was saying, I don't know if I said it out loud. I can't wait to have this conversation about money a year from now.
Same. I
can't
too,
wait.
same.
I can't wait to just sit here and tell you guys my net worth and how much I've been building and my investment. So we're so excited.
Yeah.
Guys, we start small on
We
everything.
start where we
With
are.
every journey, we start where we are, baby steps.
That's
I
it.
want to celebrate you. We hope when even we're watching this before International Women's Day, let's just take International Women's Month and just celebrate each other and celebrate ourselves by investing in ourselves.
Exactly.
Said,
Absolutely.
It breeds the best interest.
Absolutely, yes.
We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.